Hello, hello, hello. So, today's topic is Portugal's D2 visa. Yeah, I know, we are talking a lot about Portugal, but it's a brilliant country. Not just brilliant, it's beautiful, sunny, and a very enjoyable country. Trust me. So, the D2 visa. Previously, we talked about D7 visa, which was about people who are about to, you know, retire or settle down. They're living off their whole life's income and stuff like that. But this D2 visa is exciting one. The D2 visa is Portugal's residency visa for entrepreneurs. To get one, an applicant must open a new company there or buy an existing working business or its share. The amazing thing is that there's no minimum investment requirement. However, an applicant must prove that he has sufficient funds to start and run the business. Also, housing and living money needs to be showed as well. You can apply for a D2 visa / residence permit, whichever applicable for your case, directly in Portugal as opposed to D7, which requires a previous visa issued by the Portuguese consulate, with no need for a prior special purpose resident visa from the Portuguese consulate in your country or your locality. This time it takes no analysis. The request is, and the average time to process this is maximum 60 days. Your D2 visa allows you to stay for 4 months in Portugal, which time you must schedule an appointment with SEF, their immigration high authority, to get a valid Portuguese residency. So, who can apply for D2 visa? Any entrepreneur can. If you are 18 years old and you wish to run a business, own a business, buy some share, you are eligible. Then comes entrepreneur who already has a business in their own country of origin, would like to open a branch or a subsidiary office in Portugal. And finally comes self-employed persons, independent or liberal professionals who want to work in Portugal and already have a work contract or a written work proposals. Freelancer and digital nomads can also apply if they prove that they have offer differentiated service that are relevant to the country. However, make no mistake, they are on the path to launch a whole other nomad visa. So when it's in operation, this visa will no longer support nomads or freelancers. Next comes, in order for the D2 visa to be successfully granted, the evaluator or the visa person authority, he consider the condition and the potential of the company's contribution to the country. You must prove your organization's value and presence for the following elements. Declaration of investment. A declaration that you have made or intend to make an investment in Portugal indicates its nature, value, and duration. The visa application is assessed by considering namely the economic, social, scientific, technological, cultural relevance of the investment. Not to mention the creation of jobs in Portugal, which will count heavily in your favor. Next thing comes, how to set up a company. Prove that you have set up a company operating in Portuguese territory, or that you have the financial means in Portugal that demonstrates you to be able to set up a company is crucial. Then comes business plan. A structured business plan that will be reviewed by or and for its social, economic, and cultural impact. This plan should prove that your business will thrive and lead to economic growth. Next comes financial capacity. You must demonstrate that you have the financial capacity to sustain your company and that it is viable during the time you intend to live in the country. And then comes personal financial means, which we mentioned earlier. But let's elaborate it a bit more. You must show or prove that you have the financial means to live in the country for a year regardless of your business incomes. You, as the main applicant, must have 100% of the minimum annual salary, which is 9,870 euros. A spouse or partner requires an additional 50% of this value, which is 4,935 euros. And for an independent child or any other dependent, be that your parents or anyone else, you must add another 30% more, which is 2,962 euros. Therefore, a couple with one child or one parent would need around 17,767 euros a year to be eligible for D2 visa. Then comes share capital. This is an initial capital that ensures that the company can function even if it's not making profit. In Portugal, small companies have an average social capital of 5,000 euros, a reference value to consider in your application. It is very crucial to keep this in your mind while you make your business plan. Then comes the usual health insurance. You will be required to have comprehensive EU-wide health insurance cover, both for you and any dependent and any partner. Upon receiving your residence card, you will have access to public health care and system. And then comes service contracts. Liberal professionals must apply with a written contract or proposal to provide their service. And the last one, which is very important, is tax representatives. Any non-EU citizens applying for D2 visa are legally required to appoint a tax representative in Portugal or choose to be notified by the Portuguese tax authority through tax authority portal de finance, which is called, or through an official electronic mailbox via CTT. Now let's talk about the sweet part, the benefits of the D2 visa. It allows you or gives you the right to establish a business or work as an independent professional and live in Portugal and any other place in Europe. You have the free entry and circulation within the Schengen area that I already mentioned, which means you have free movement pass in 26 European countries and you can operate your business in any of those countries without a visa. I mean, you already have a visa, but you won't need any other visas or papers to do that. The D2 visa essentially grants you the travel rights all over European areas. This is perfect for entrepreneurs who want to travel through Europe or to build a stronger network or cooperate or build a connection. Then comes the possibility of family reunification in Portugal. Once you have the visa, you are eligible for this reunification in Portugal. The family, including your partners, children, parents, siblings, dependents of your partner or siblings. So the holder of Portuguese residence permit can reunify with their whole world. Isn't that great? Then the option to apply for Portuguese non-habitual resident (NHR) tax regime, which is open to anyone who has the right to reside in Portugal and has not been a tax resident for any other country for last 5 years. Qualification for permanent residency or citizenship in Portugal. After 5 years of being a legal permanent resident, you may be eligible for permanent citizenship in the country. Mark my maybe. It's not guaranteed, but it's a possibility. As part of the Portuguese residency program, please note that citizenship is subject to a basic Portuguese language test. It may be a big deal when you apply for one. Portuguese residency rights, including education and healthcare. As a Portuguese resident, you and your family will have access to public healthcare and your children to the public education system. But remember government benefits, government healthcare and education system it's a European standard but not up to the notch. So you would need a private practice, a private education, a private healthcare if you're planning to stay there for long, which costs a little bit more, but this is not a concern for this video. We'll talk about that in the next one. So let's talk about how to renew D2 visa. With the D2 visa, you can apply and receive the Portuguese residence permit, which will allow you to live and work in Portugal for 1 year. This permit can be renewed every 2 years if the applicant proves that the continuity of the professional activity after 5 years of legally authorized residency. You can request your Portuguese nationality, which means your permanent residency. Minimum stay requirement is there. The minimum requirement to continue residing in Portugal is that you spend at least 4 months in the country during the first year and at least 6 months per year during 3 year subsequent period, which means you will need to be there for 18 months, which means 22 months in 3 and 1 4 years. That's not bad, right? The documents you will need, as a thumb rule, the application or the applicant will require to have following documents when applying for D2 visa: a passport, which is very natural and it must have at least 4 months validity, 2 recent passport size color photos showing your entire face and ears, a declaration outlining the reasons for Portuguese residency, a healthcare insurance plan valid in Portugal, or else an affidavit stating that one will be bought in Portugal within the arrival and 90 days. A criminal record certificate or police clearance letter is needed and it must be issued within the last 90 days. Documentary evidence of having accommodation in Portugal, property title deed or tenancy agreement, online reservation is good too. Documentary evidence of having sufficient fund available to the application or applicant's subsistence in Portugal. Any local bank account is good, or your Portuguese bank. In the case of freelance professional, the copy of contract and, if applicable, proof of professional qualification, or in the case of an entrepreneur, the business plan, proof of either having made the investment or of having access in Portugal to the necessary funding to do so. So I hope this helps. If you are considering to apply for D2 or any other visa for Portugal, it is highly recommended to consult a law firm. We currently affiliated with 2 well-reputed law firms and 3 top immigration and CA firms in Portugal if you need any first-hand assistance. As always, thank you so very much for being with us. Please consider liking, sharing and subscribing our channel and video. It makes us sleep better at night.